Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our topic is the osmotic adjustment in plant or osmoregulation in plant. That is the second phenomena in homeostasis, that how the plant adjusts their internal environment with the availability of the water and the different solutes. Plants face different environments. The plant cell phase can have different environment, and how they act normally to that environment. Sometimes the environment may be hypotonic, having more water, less salt. Sometimes the environment may be hypertonic, having more salts and less water. So how the plants survive in these different environments, that is the mechanism of the osmoregulation, in which plants adopt such organs, or sometimes adopt such mechanism in which help them in the survival of those plants in that environment. So first of all, we will discuss here the hydrophytes. The hydrophytes have outer environment. The hydrophytes are those plants which live in the fresh water, and fresh water have more water and less salt, mean the external environment is hypotonic, and the plant environment, internal environment, must not be so much hypotonic. If the water outside the plant is more, they will take more water. The water will move inside them, and that water can cause many disturbances inside the internal environment. So how these plants survive in such type of environment? These plants that are living inside the hypotonic environment, how they keep their internal environment hypertonic as compared to the external environment, they adopt some adaptation. Number one, they remove extra water from their cell. The water goes inside their cell, but their cells remove through different mechanisms extra water to the outside. Next, they have broad leaves. Broad leaves means large number of stomata. When the surface area of the leaves will be large, the stomata must be more in number, so they have more stomata as compared to the other plants, and the stomata try to release the extra water. Next, they remove extra water through especially through their roots. They have large roots, and they have juicy stem, through which sometimes they store extra water, and sometimes through their roots they have less root, through which they cannot take much water as compared to the other plants. So these are the characteristics of the hydrophytes when they facing large or abundant amount of water. So how they keep their internal environment safe from the toxicity or from the harms of abundant water. The second one is the xerophytes. Xerophytes are those plants which live in the dry environment, like the desert. Like there is especially mostly we discuss the cactus plants here that are living in the xerophytic or dry environment. Dry environment mean that they have less water and more salts. Mean outer environment is hypertonic. The plant internal environment is hypotonic. In such environment, how the plants make available water to its internal parts? How they reduce the water loss? Number one, less number of stomata. As compared to the hydrophytes, they have less number of stomata. Less number mean less evaporation of water, less loss of water, low rate of transpiration. So their internal environment have abundant water for their function. Number 2, they have deep roots. When they have deep and large roots, they will absorb maximum water. Number 3, they have parenchyma cell in their roots and they can store large amount of water for their future. Sometime when there is rain, they absorb more water. They keep that water in the parenchymatous cells for the storage, and when there is dry environment, they can use that storage water. And such type of organs are known as succulent organ, which are used for the storage of the material which is required in the future. So these are the adaptations of the xerophytic plants for their osmoregulation. The next category is the halophytes. Halophytes are those plants living in the sea water or salty water. Salty water means hypertonic external environment. External environment, when hypertonic, it have more salts and the salt must be goes inside the plant body. If the plant body receive more salts than normal, it can damage its internal parts. So how halophytes live in the sea environment which have more salts and less water? Actually, the vacuole of such plant cells act very important for them. How the vacuole act? Vacuole have semi-permeable membrane which is known as tonoplast. Tonoplast means that the plant vacuole outside have a special membrane. This is the vacuole of the plant. So most of the regulation of the water and salts is done through the vacuole of halophytes. Outer environment is hypertonic. The salts goes inside the plant. How the plant protect itself? By vacuole. Vacuole membrane take that salts through active transport. Active transport means that this vacuole already have more salt, but further salts are moving inside the vacuole through active transport, and it keep the protoplasm, cytoplasm safe from the salts. So the cell act as a hypertonic to external environment, but it actually not hypertonic, it is hypotonic, because the cytoplasm have no such salt. The salts are only present in the vacuole, and it keep the salts by special proteins. It take the salts through special proteins which is known as active transport. So vacuole action is very important, and it keep the plant safe from the fluctuation of the hypertonic environment.